Do you know how many times you can lose everything you've built before you finally decide to give up? 3 consecutive times. That's how many times the fire nearly consumed the dream of Elon Musk. Everyone knows Musk today, the tech icon, the man who talks about Mars and electric cars as if describing his backyard. But the real story isn't about the rockets that ascend, it's about the soul that almost collapsed. The story begins with a decade of silence and fear. A child finding his only refuge between the pages of books, far away from the world's noise. Imagine a world where your mind functions like a supercomputer, yet it makes you an outsider to everyone around you. This was Elon's childhood in South Africa, a lonely genius trapped between brilliance and pain. He suffered from deep concentration episodes, moments when he would completely disconnect from reality, lost in thought, while his body stayed still. But instead of admiration, he received cruelty. He was bullied, once beaten so badly he had to be hospitalized. Those moments, when the world felt unjust and the body betrayed him, were the true beginning of his character formation. The pain wasn't only physical, it was a deep sense of isolation, the realization that the world would never fully accept a different mind. How does a child overcome such brutality? Not by revenge, not by tears, but by transformation. Musk turned escape into immersion. Instead of running from the pain, he ran into it, to transform it into fuel. He immersed himself in programming and science, where rules were logical and results were tangible, unlike the unpredictable world of humans. Work became his lifeboat, a school of pain that taught him this. The ability to endure hardship isn't a choice for success, it's the condition for survival. This lesson allowed him to launch his first company, Zip2, his first taste of real success, and it led him straight into the heart of Silicon Valley. But fate wasn't done refining this soul yet. By 2002, Elon had sold PayPal and become a millionaire. Instead of enjoying life, he chose the hardest path imaginable, to chase 2 impossible dreams, colonizing Mars and revolutionizing electric cars. But while building 2 new companies, life struck him twice, brutally. First, the emotional blow. He lost his infant son, only a few months old. The grief was unbearable. For weeks he couldn't return home. He couldn't face the empty cradle. Second, the professional blow. SpaceX failed 3 consecutive rocket launches. Each failure burned millions, his personal fortune evaporating. At the same time, Tesla was collapsing toward bankruptcy. 2008, the year when both his heart and his empire broke. How did he face this double collapse? Not by hiding, not by giving up. First, he defined the pain and gave it purpose. He channeled his grief into the Mars project, transforming the awareness of mortality into a mission that transcended himself. Second, he made the toughest decision of his life. He split his last remaining money between SpaceX and Tesla. He sold his cars, his properties, everything, betting that both companies would survive or both would die. That wasn't the choice of a dreamer. It was the decision of a man who refused to surrender. December 2008. After 3 crushing failures, the 4th rocket finally succeeded. The Falcon 1 reached orbit. It wasn't a victory of technology. It was the triumph of refusal, the will to keep going after losing everything. Weeks later, SpaceX secured its first major contract with NASA. Tesla received emergency funding and survived. 2 companies saved at the edge of extinction, not by luck but by persistence. The law we learn from this story isn't that you must become a billionaire. The law is simpler, deeper. Transformation doesn't begin by seeking inspiration. It begins by accepting the brokenness. When your dream breaks, when your heart breaks, when your confidence breaks, don't try to restore it to what it was. Use that pain to forge something new. The worst moments of your life are not endings. They are raw materials, waiting for your decision to shape them. Don't empty yourself of feeling. Empty it into work, into purpose, into resilience. Because this is the secret behind everyone who changed the world. They learned how to work, even when they were broken.